observations of what the brothers are. What is that? What is your
man? It's an institution, I suppose, is what we ended up realizing. At the time, I certainly didn't believe that. I mean, it's just this machine, this brand that you had developed, which is all you, and you know, it was just a revolving door of session musicians, which is great, you know, because with that, I've come to realize is you've always got that freshness about it, because there's a new person, a new energy, a new vibe, you know. Whereas if you have one band, like when I see now bands these days, some of them work, some of them don't, you know, because there's all that politics that goes on when you've been hanging out with the same musos for the same long extent. I mean, how long's it going to be?
Almost 20
years. Like, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. The more appealing thing to me, or what really attracts me to you as a friend, is the person you are.
It's like you're a pillar in the Australian music scene, you know, and you're one of the, you know, things that you're a topic that comes up in when you're talking about music with mates and stuff. My brother was always into funk and jazz and with the jazz festivals and stuff, and so when I said I was playing with you, he was really excited. He's like, "What, really? Craig Calhoun?" I was like, yeah. I think I looked up your bio and stuff and saw some pretty awesome things, and I was like, oh god, and that just made me even more nervous. And I think that's why I love playing with you, because the vibe was always there. It's just like you pop the pill, you know, you can't help but go on the ride. It's there. You know what I'm saying? It was great. It was always a good vibe. You always chose other great players as well. There's a whole community of people that you brought together, and you'd always meet other people, and then so many people would have played with you before, and it was something, you know, to talk about and to bond about, you know. Oh, you've done those brothers gigs. It's cool. Where'd you play? How long for? You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I knew of you because I knew the Brothers of Oz, but I didn't know where in that picture you sat, other than you were the bass player, and I couldn't visualise it. But the phones were going nuts, which was unusual for us because we were a brand new venue. So it was funny because I was standing next to the bar, and you were standing next to me, and we had been talking and crossing over all night. And I looked and saw you there, and I thought, oh. And then I looked again, and you had a guitar in your hand, and I thought, that's a bit weird. And then I realised that, oh shit, he's playing, you know, and the band had started. So there was that initial like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what he does. And then suddenly the room was full. And, you know, the most impressive thing to me was that from front to back, it was packed from the word go. It didn't stop. It just did not stop. It was a perpetual movement the whole time. People were reluctant, and I think for me that's a great sign when an audience is reluctant to move away from the act because they don't want to miss anything. It's a rare thing. It's a different persona up there, and that's that kind of musicianship for me is rare. Again, I think you go beyond your bass player. That's the really interesting thing. I mean, the bass playing is such a you go from a business person that can converse in many different forms of business, and not just business, but converse on any level, has quite a serious nature to his personality, and can discuss the monetary side of things. There's a whole different person enters the stage when the bass comes into hand. It's a different face. It's like you invent yourself again up there. You know, I see a different person up there straight away. And the fact that you're encouraging young players too, I think that's something close to my heart that I like to see. You know, people are actually prepared to bring other people out.
Hey, Craig Calhoun. The first impression I had of Craig Calhoun is that he was a different person. The vision that you had, it really affected my life to see that there were other people out there that had bigger visions, that had big visions. When we looked at you, it was like an amazement to the point that you were doing things that I hadn't even conceived yet. That was the main thing, and we talk about it to this day about, you know, how meeting you, how it was such an experience, and kind of knowing you and seeing what was possible at that time, because you were stretching the envelope for us. When I first saw Victor moving, and he put his thumb on the string, and he went down and he came up, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I saw Craig doing that when he was like, Craig Calhoun was doing that when he was 15 probably, you know. It's like, oh, that's nothing. And now it's big and everybody's trying to do that thing.
Yeah. But that technique in particular that everybody's all trying to do now,
yeah,
Craig was doing like in 78.
That's right.
Yeah, looking forward to the Mac Hotel gigs and just all the jamming. Like that, they were so formative for me. You know?
Oh, good.
It was a growth period. Probably the biggest growth period I had in terms of being able to play. 'Cause you know how shy I am. You know.
Yeah.
Usually before that and even around that, all gigs were always like, what does the chart say? Okay, I'll follow that. But those gigs with you were just like, do you know this song? No? Oh, I'll play it anyway.
Yeah, I remember seeing you at Mumble Bar that first time that I'd actually ever seen you, although I'd heard of you before that.
Yeah.
And just being kind of like, wow, you know, wouldn't it be cool to be able to get up and play with him, you know? And I don't think it was too long after that I knew that guys that I'd known had played with you. I don't know how many, but you know, to me it was just like I was getting to play with this guy that I'd heard about, with this Craig Calhoun guy, and that was a big deal to me, you know. It was definitely a big deal, yeah. Yeah.
And what are your thoughts about the whole concept of the brothers and how it works and operates? I mean,
Well, I mean, as far as I understand it, what it is you know, this is an opportunity for us to really, you know, either whether we're playing original stuff that you've written or whatever, or if we're playing covers, it's always an opportunity to really just let loose, to just express yourself, you know. And you've always encouraged that. That's what the band's always been about, is about letting go, just, you know, trying to please the crowd, trying to entertain the crowd as best we can. And by giving everyone that space, I think, to just perform and let themselves express who they are through their music, what you're doing is creating this beautiful synergy. You know, it is a great synergy that happens, where none of us really knows what is going to happen at any given point, you know, outside the sort of the frame that we've established, that, you know, what we're going to do. But it could just turn on a dime. It could just go somewhere else. You know, we could be, you know, grooving on something, and then I could hear, I don't know, like a P-Funk thing that I want to throw out there, you know, just something like that, you know, and just bring that in over the top of what we're doing, and you'll hear it and be like, yeah, cool, change the groove again, and it's just going in a different direction. That's the kind of stuff that happens all the time, and it's fun, you know. It's organic, it's great. That's something that you don't get in a lot of other bands. I think there was a certain fear of you at first, definitely.
From you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was just this young guy that didn't know you from a bar of soap, except that I'd seen you play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just had this idea that you were going to be a bit of a hard ass, you know what I mean? That you were going to, like, you know, if you did something wrong, you know, you could just jump on it, you know what I mean, and kind of like put you in your place. And I don't know, like I had this idea that I just didn't want to step on toes, didn't want to do anything that you might not like on stage. But I you know, as I started coming out of that shell a little bit on stage, you know, you were always encouraging, always cool about what I was doing. I never felt like anything I did you didn't like, you know what I mean? It was cool. Look, man, my memories of hanging out with you has always been how much of an interest you took in me, personally. You always took the time out to, you know, tell me exactly what you thought about me, to really give me encouragement all the time. And it's something that I really cherished, is getting that from you. You've definitely been a role model to me, in the sense that, you know, I want to be like that guy to younger guys coming up, you know, in the same way that you have. Like I said, after that initial feeling of being nervous, you know, after that, you really did everything in your power to make me feel comfortable and let me just do what I do best, without any fear of, you know, doing something wrong.
Yeah, one more thing on the mentoring that's so wonderful is that, you know, only you would see a young drummer, you know, young female drummer, just out at a gig and walk up to her and say, you know, listen, I'm doing a gig at Bluebeat, you know, next week, you know, in brackets, there's going to be 350 people there, and, you know, and I want you to get up and she grabbed me backstage. This is Lisa. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
Lisa,
who-
yeah.
Yeah, this is Lisa. She grabbed me backstage and went, "Oh my God, when Craig asked me, I nearly fainted." And you know, and it's such a huge thing to them, and to you it's like nothing. It's just what you do. And that's kind of abstract, you know. You'll take on a second drummer, and your drummer Dane Charles is just unbelievable. You know, one of the best in the country. Your current drummer, and you know, you didn't even run it by him, and he was totally cool, of course. And you just calmly walked in and went, you know, there's a percussionist, there's a drummer, and even JC on keys. You know, you just went, "Oh yeah, by the way, guys, there's going to be another drummer here tonight." And Dane looks up and goes, "Two drummers?" I went, "Don't worry, Dane, you're still going to be the good-looking black drummer." And then I went downstairs and I looked at Lisa and I came back and went, "Sorry, Dane. You lost out on both counts." And he had a great laugh, so, because Lisa's good looking and black. So one thing you're good at is also bringing the right chemistry of people and mix, and one night on the stage with the brothers is equivalent to many years in another act. You know, the brothers of Oz, and they just jump because they feel that once they've satisfied you, they can go on and conquer the world.
That's cool.
Yeah, because you lead such a high standard, such a high musical standard that I don't think you appreciate how cool the mentoring thing really is.
I mean, the story, I try and tell people, you know, how much of a mentor you've been to me. And, you know, basically, I owe all of my knowledge and place in the industry now squarely to you.